Timing is everything, and sometimes the best thing you can do for a great conversation is know when to end it. Have you ever been stuck in a conversation with someone you were desperate to get out of? Maybe you've wondered if they wanted out of the conversation too. In a 2021 article published in the journal Psychological and Cognitive Sciences, Adam Mastroianni and colleagues were interested in answering the question, what if we're all trapped in conversations because we mistakenly think the other person wants to continue? They analyzed 932 conversations and asked the participants to talk as long as they wanted, up to 45 minutes. Then later, they were asked to say when they had wanted to bring the conversation to an end, and guess when their conversation partner had wanted it to end. The results? Conversations seemingly never ended when both parties wanted them to. In fact, only 2% of people reported that conversation ended when they wanted it to. Almost 70% wanted the conversation to be shorter, and most people wanted it to be shorter by around half. They found that conversations almost never ended when both conversants wanted them to, and rarely ended when even one conversant wanted them to end, and that the average discrepancy between desired and actual durations was roughly half the duration of the conversation. Conversants had little idea when their partners wanted to end and underestimated how discrepant their partner's desires were from their own. These problems suggest that ending conversations is a classic coordination problem that humans are unable to solve, because doing so requires information that they normally keep from each other. As a result, most conversations appear to end when no one wants them to. So what's going on? The researchers guess that people get trapped in such conversations because they hide their true feelings. Nobody wants to come across as rude or offend the other person, so inside we might think, oh God, I wish this was finished already. But on the outside we say, oh, how interesting. Tell me more. It's no wonder that we're so bad at guessing when the other person is ready to stop talking. We all hide it so well. The researchers found that 64% of people were wrong in their guesses about the other person's desires in both directions. How do we deal with the discrepancy? On the whole, most people tend to want conversations to be shorter. Even when they're enjoying the conversation, take it as a given that you don't really know how the other person is feeling, because they're likely not sending signals either way. Play it safe and end the conversation when you're feeling like it's time, rather than carrying on when you're actually ready to stop. Assume that ending it prematurely is better than letting things go on too long. After all, ending on a high note can close off a conversation in a neat, positive way, so that you both feel eager to talk again the next time you meet. Leave a few things unsaid, create a little mystery, and who knows, you might be letting someone off the hook. The trick to ending conversations is to be calm and confident about it. The firmer and more relaxed you are, the more smoothly things will go. Step 1. Wait for the right moment. Look for a lull in the conversation or a small silence when one thread is dropped and a new thread hasn't yet been picked up. Unless the person you're talking to doesn't give you a word edgewise, try to avoid interrupting them to end the conversation. Instead, end it when the ball is in your court, so to speak, and when the conversation naturally feels a little thin. Step 2. Start with a positive. In a way that almost recaps and summarizes your conversation, give the other person a compliment by saying how much you enjoyed the chat, or reiterate something you've learned from them. Without this little bit of flattery, ending even a bad conversation can feel a bit like a rejection. Step 3. Make an excuse. It doesn't have to be long and complicated, or even particularly true, but you simply need to signal that there's a reason you're ending the conversation that's not, I'm tired of you now. This is mere politeness and tact. Step 4. Firmly disengage. Once you've signaled you want to end the conversation, end it. Lingering around, second-guessing yourself, can actually make things more awkward or put the other person on the spot. Make a decisive move away from the person, but keep friendly, warm, and open, and smile. For example, the other person concludes an anecdote by saying, "And so that's how we ended up choosing the name for our daughter." And you say, "Wow. Still, I think you chose wisely. Rebecca is a lovely name." You both stand there for a moment, nodding and smiling. There's not much more to say. It's time. You quickly perk up and seize the opportunity. "It's been really nice chatting. I always forget how much I enjoy our talks. I've got about 1,000,000 things to do today, so I'd better be going. But we'll talk again soon, huh? At the PTA meeting this weekend, maybe?" The other person need only smile and say, "Sure," and then you can beat a hasty retreat. Simple. Let's finish our book where we started, with the concept of charm. What is charm, anyway? As we've seen, so many of us fail to be charming simply because we have a completely wrong idea of what it really means to be charming. We think that charm and charisma mean we say the right thing, the funny thing, or the witty thing at the right time. We're intelligent and dazzle people with our brilliant insights and opinions. We come across as sexy, confident, and popular. We're entertaining. What any conversational genius will tell you flies in the face of this picture. They'll say that what makes a person charming is their ability to listen, to be present, to be playful, curious, warm, and open. That's it. And yet, how difficult it is to get this right. It's completely unnecessary for you to be smarty pants or ultra cool and confident. Think about it. There's no shortage in the world of people spouting their opinions and saying what they think. Look at any social media site, tune into any news channel, or open any book or magazine. The world is packed to the brim with people who are trying to be interesting, right, and entertaining. And who cares? In good conversations, the people we tend to love the most are those we feel we can conjure up a genuine, warm, and exciting connection with. And anyone can do that, so long as they're willing to learn a few common-sense tricks, gently shift their mindset, and practice. This has been How to Talk to Anyone, How to Charm, Banter, Attract, and Captivate, written by Patrick King, narrated by Russell Newton. Copyright 2022 by Patrick King. Production copyright by Patrick King.